It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. I welcome the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on the two-board screen. I like to get on here, give my unique perspective, because after 48 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and let's get into about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, it looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Miami, Florida. Got some plays over in Miami this past week. Gracias, gratitude, todo ba. In Miami, I was on the internet the other day. I had never seen so many law enforcement vehicles in my life. There was a lot of cops down there. I'm not sure what happened. I heard a lot of crazy stuff on the internet. I usually don't believe what I hear on the internet. But the main thing I'm concerned is that you guys are safe. So I hope all you guys down in Miami, Florida are good. And just FYI, back in the day I was a school radio DJ. But I never got a job. I think I never got a job because I just didn't have the right optics. If I would have had the right optic, then maybe that would enable me to become a radio DJ. But it didn't. That's what allowed me to become the greatest podcast in the Matrix. Something to debate. Might be true, might not be true. But I said it on the internet. So it's gotta be true, right? Cause the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix, snow, and more snow. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're online, just be aware, just watch out. Anyways, good ramble all day, but it won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I rap. And back on Christmas of 2023, a couple weeks ago, I rapped again. I dropped the album called The Code of Superhuman Artistry. It's an 8-track album available on all DSPs of me rapping in my unique style over crazy beats. Now, this album is structured in a way that each title is an important key to creating and enhancing and shaping your life. All the song titles, study those concepts, learn them, read about them, go deep. And if you can master those concepts and adjust them properly, you can enhance your life. Possibly. I feel you can if you pull those levers and push those buttons. So go check out the album, The Code of Superhuman Artistry. I'll put the link below. All DSPs. Check it out now. Let's get on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. And after a couple months of just having pretty nice weather, the S word has arrived. And when I say S word, I'm talking about S-N-O-W. Snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. I have a t-shirt with Jean-Luc Picard on it that says make it snow. You know, he says make it so, but he says make it snow. He's got Jean-Luc Picard on it. And I was wearing that shirt for a while and it never snowed. But finally, Jean-Luc Picard made it snow because we got snow on the ground. It is beautiful. Unfortunately, I got to drive nowhere this week. I'm going to be at the casa all week just lounge and relax and working on art. I got to go out. So when I got to go out, snow is lovely. Now we got to drive in the snow, it sucks. But not having to drive in it, it is beautiful. So I'm just going to chill, relax, and look at the beautiful snow. But now it is time to podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, I was on the internet looking for something to watch. I was over at Apple TV Plus, and I found this documentary about this b-ball player, this hoop guy, won many titles. You might have heard of him. Maybe you did, maybe you have. Pretty sure you have heard of him. You like Subway sandwiches. I was over there and they had a documentary for Stephen Curry. Yeah, underrated. Yo. So I was like, bro, let me see this guy's journey. So to be honest, I don't know a lot about him. So I went ahead and checked it out. Now, before I get into that, a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in Apple. I just want to be clear and transparent to let you know. Now I told you that. Let's get into Stephen Curry. underrated. Ladies and gentlemen, as I navigate planet Earth, I do a lot of things online, digitally. A lot of digital stuff. Look at a lot of digital stuff all over the internet, social media, news, all these things. Just feeds of information come to me. Some I choose, some I don't. And I do get a lot of news flow from like the NBA and basketball in general. From a lot of people I'm connected with, from just different things I pay attention to. It just randomly comes to me. And to be honest with you, I haven't really watched basketball for some time, but I still get like basketball news flow into my inbox. Now, what I find very interesting is that I don't get a lot of Stephen Curry. At least I didn't. I do now because I have some investments now that are kind of aligned with Stephen Curry now. So I do get more news flow because I've actively chosen to get news about these investments that are aligned with him. So I get more news now. But prior to my investments, I wasn't getting no news flow from Curry, bro. None. Very minimal. And what I didn't understand about that after watching this documentary and seeing how much this man has accomplished, I say, after all these years, why was I not getting more news flow about this guy? He's absolutely a phenomenal athlete. He's the master of his craft. He is great. He's accomplished a lot of things. And how am I not getting this news flow? Now, I've been getting a lot of other news flows into my inbox, into my feeds about other guys in the basketball game. Other high profile guys, quite a bit of it actually. But for some reason, not a lot of flow with this dude until I actively had to choose it and look for it. Now, I don't understand that because this dude is phenomenally a great athlete. He's good, but it all comes down to the title of his documentary, Underrated. He was underrated back in the day. It seems like he's still underrated now. He's accomplished all these things and he's still a bit underrated. In the documentary, when he was chasing his last title, all the critics, all the quotation experts, all the guys behind the microphone talk about, oh, he won't win the championship this year. They can't do it this year. They won't do it. And he won. And they kept saying, oh, he can't do it still. And he won. Oh, he still can't do it. And he won. They kept telling him he couldn't do it. And he kept winning in that last championship year. So just it sounds like his whole career from watching this documentary, people just didn't believe in him. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I was just having a conversation with this dude I know. We're talking basketball. And we're talking, and I brought this gentleman up. And I'll be honest, like, I was using the language that some of these critics were using. And after the conversation, I'm like, bro, why am I talking like that? Now, after thinking about why he was talking this matter, it's because I've been programmed to see things in a certain way when I was coming up. Now, there's a certain belief that skilled people, powerful people, successful people look a certain way. In certain domains and certain spheres of disciplines, a certain look commands more attention and belief based on that look. Right? He looks the part, she looks the part for that discipline of that subject. Now, in the realm of the NBA, now I'm not saying I believe this, but to a lot of people, they feel that Curry doesn't look the part. And I'll be honest, I was feeding into that just the other day. I was having this conversation, I was feeding into that narrative because I'm still working on my mindset to switch from that. The UFC has been very helpful with that because in the UFC, in the cage, they'll have a lot of people fight. And some of these fighters look like fighters. They look the part, right? And they fight people that don't look the part. And a lot of times in that cage, the guys that don't look the part destroy the guys that look the part. You know, and you know what I'm talking about. You probably have in your mind what a successful fighter might look like. Like a fighter might look like this, and that. A guy that's really strong and powerful in the cage looks like this. And someone does not looks like this. Now, in the UFC cage and in jiu-jitsu and these other things I've seen, the look does not matter. And this applies to Curry because Curry doesn't look, quotation marks, like the typical dominant NBA basketball player. Not in my perception, but in the world's perception. The critics were saying it. All these people were saying it, right? And we've been programmed as a young people to come up to believe these things. And he defies all that. He even says in the documentary, I'm a skinny kid, don't believe. He says it right in there. And he keeps having to shut them up and shut them down, right? Because what was very apparent in this documentary is that one of the quotes that I learned from somebody else I try to live by is that you have to become so good, you cannot be denied, right? So this is what Curry's journey was. He just kept being so good, he cannot be denied, right? Kept getting denied. He just got so good with his skills, he cannot be denied, bro, right? I'm so good at my craft, you will not deny me. And after being underrated and talked mess about and not believed in and think he couldn't do it, he just kept shutting them down. He got the most three-pointers in the whole NBA history. Got like 4 titles, bro. Right? He was in NCAA tournaments. right? I mean, this dude is phenomenally great athlete, and it just not getting the hype that some of these other players are getting for whatever reason. I don't know. The machine of the media is an interesting place. You know, Curry's just out there doing his thing, doing the work, right? Not a lot of drama. And I think that's why a lot of the information flow, news flow wasn't coming to me, right? But now after seeing this documentary, I just recognize how good of an athlete this guy is. All the pressure that comes with being a high-profile athlete, the injuries, being the master of your craft and all the critics. Like, he was able to get past all that. And one other thing, he left college early to go play in the NBA. Never got his bachelor's degree. But this dude was like, bro, nah, I'm going back, I'm getting that. So he went back and got his bachelor's degree. He's handling the business. Also being a superstar NBA player on the NBA team. Went outside, I'm gonna get my bachelor's degree real quick. We get that. I don't care if I'm working, training, whatever, winning championships, I'm getting that degree. And he did that. Bravo to that guy for getting that degree. Finished what he started. And he also likes Subway sandwiches. After seeing the documentary, it just motivated me to keep going, keep doing what I'm doing. Because to be real, I've been doing this podcast thing for 9 years. I've been rapping and rhyming for like 20 years. And I might not be the most recognizable artist doing this, right? I'm probably underrated a little bit. Probably a lot of it, right? But I'm just gonna keep working my craft like her, to keep doing my thing, get so good I cannot be denied. That's the goal. That's a lesson from the documentary, bro. So if you out there working your craft, and maybe you ain't getting recognized, maybe you're too small, you're not entertaining enough or whatever, just keep doing your thing, keep working your craft, do the reps daily, do the drills, you have good skills. And eventually you become so good, you cannot be denied. Because this is exactly what Curry did. And Curry is a phenomenal athlete with all the accolades to go with it. He's a phenomenal example of just defying the odds. Yeah, so the documentary is very good if you like sports documentaries, if you like rooting for the underdog, see how someone, became great, right? Because there was a lot of L's in his life. He took a lot of L's in the court, bro. A lot of L's, a lot of losing. And that's what it takes. When you walk the path of working your craft, there will be a lot of L's. There'll be a lot of mistakes. There'll be a lot of lessons learned. It'll be hard. It'll be difficult. There'll be late nights, early mornings. You'll be sore, exhausted, tired, worn out. You'll want to quit. I'm not an NBA player, but I'm doing the art of creativity. And some days I want to quit, bro. I want to stop. I'm 9 years in the game with the podcast. I'm 20 years in the game with this music thing. And some days I want to quit doing it. It's just too hard. And on that path, when you're doing things like athletics and creativity or whatever you're chasing, whatever you're working day in and day out, you will want to quit. And if you want some inspiration to keep going, watch this Curry documentary. It's over at Apple TV+. It's phenomenal. It's great. And one additional thing too, I knew that he had a clothing line, but I really wasn't aware of it. And to be real about it too, his clothing line is not out there like some of the other ones. I don't understand why, because some of them shoes are looking dope. Some of his clothes are looking dope, bro. Like seriously, I don't know why it's not out there like these other ones. I don't know why it's not getting the shine, because it should. In fact, I'm probably gonna go buy a pair of these shoes. He just dropped some shoes this past week that are phenomenally dope, Bruce Lee inspired. I'm loving it. I'm not plugging it. Now, I do own shares in Under Armour, just to be clear and transparent, to let you know that. But the shoes do look dope, right? They're phenomenal. This dude should just be getting more love, more shine. And maybe he probably is getting a lot, but if it's not naturally flowing to me without me searching it, it's not enough. He should be in a space with all he's accomplished, to his news feed and his information, his vibes just flowing everywhere without people even asking for it. And I hope that for him in the future. I hope he gets more titles, more MVPs, all that. I wish him luck, because he seems like a really good stand-up dude. Yeah, and one additional thing, Stephen Curry, if you happen to hear this, which you probably will, but if you do, I apologize for even saying that you didn't look the part, because I did say that at one point in time. I did say he don't look it. Right? And that's my fault for being ignorant and naive and part of the programming coming up. So bro, you're a phenomenal athlete. You're doing big things, and I appreciate getting to see how you worked your craft and became so good you could not be denied. And ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, we'll see. People who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity, no matter how impressive their other talents. Andrew Carnegie. Until next time, this is the Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.